Hello and welcome to episode 406 of the Daily Sales Message podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple, actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. Now, today we're talking about a phrase, and I don't know where this phrase came from, so apologies, but I'm happy to credit the person. This is not my phrase, but it's a really interesting one, really powerful. It's great for keeping you as professional as possible and keeping you where you need to be. And the phrase is this: how you do anything is how you do everything, even if it's not true. How you do anything is how you do everything, even if it's not true. One of these things for me is punctuality, lateness. I'm early for every single appointment I have, give or take once in a blue moon where I may have an issue. But I'm early. I'm not just on time. I am early for the Zoom calls I have and the in-person meetings I have. Because, first of all, from a time point of view, I think it's a point of respect personally. But how you do anything is how you do everything. If I turn up late to an appointment, to a call, unprepared, flustered, not really in control, not really knowing what I'm doing, then it gives the impression, and this is an issue of correlation and causation, so it gives the impression that elsewhere in my business, I'm going to be late, flustered, not very prepared. There's an old adage, a story, whether it's true or not, but it's just an example. If you get on an airplane and you put the seat table back down to put your drink on it, and it's dirty and there's coffee rings on there, they haven't bothered to clean it. What you might then think is, hang on a minute, if they haven't bothered to clean that, what else haven't they bothered to do? Did they do the safety checks? Did they do this? Did they do that? And it's that kind of thinking. So if James is late to this appointment, well, and unprepared, well, he's going to be late and unprepared to everything. It's just who he is. How you do anything is how you do everything, even if it's not true. So this is a really, really interesting phrase to keep in your mind, because it keeps you professional. It makes you respect every single situation you go into and every single person, because it reminds you that you're being judged all the time, all of the time, even if it's not true. And even if it's not true is a really interesting part of that, because I could be late once. It's very rare, it does happen. I could be late once to a meeting. But it's the first time I'm meeting you. As far as you know, that's just what I do, even if it's not true. So how you do anything is how you do everything, even if it's not true. Do your very best in all scenarios, particularly when it comes to punctuality and things like that. Just remember, you're being judged the whole time. So you need to put your best foot forward. From a messaging point of view, just one final thing before I go, from a messaging point of view, I had this with a particular client that had a SaaS product, software as a service, SaaS product, where their demo for their product was quite difficult. It's quite difficult to demonstrate their product. Even though the product itself is supposed to be easy, and it was, the demo, for some reason, the demonstration was a little bit complicated. And I had to remind them of this phrase. And I said, look, you got to be careful, because if people find the demonstration, the demo difficult, time consuming, whatever, they're going to think that's what your product is like. So the demo has to be just as simple and easy and straightforward as the product itself. How you do anything is how you do everything, even if it's not true. Right, that's it for this episode of the podcast. Tomorrow, in episode 407, we're going to be talking about telling people off, which is interesting because I often have telling off episodes on the podcast for some reason. I don't know why people still listen to me when I tell them off, but there we go. We're going to talk about telling people off in a sales context, and how that works and what that means, and what should be avoided and what should be done. But join me in tomorrow's episode for that. Thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end. I appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow for another edition of the Daily Sales Message.